Hello, I'm here to talk to you about heading levels and why it's important to keep them in order. And when I say heading levels, I mean H1, H2, H3, and so on in HTML. These are elements or landmarks on a page that helps users get a sense of how it's organized. It can be useful for those who want to scan through a page and find the content that they're looking for. And headings are especially important for those who use screen readers because that technology can navigate a page according to the headings and the order they follow. One of the most common issues I see in a code base are out of order or skipped heading levels. Many websites are like pretty good about starting off with an H1, which is great, but might skip directly like to an H3 for the next heading, for example. Or they might have an H3 and then the related heading below it is an H2, so it goes out of order there. It's important to keep headings in order so anyone coming to your page can navigate it easily. In this example I put together here, we have an events page. We start out with an H1, events in Salem, great. But then we move directly to an H4. These H4s are like little headers that mark off the age range of the activity. So you have for all ages, and then we have for teens. And then we skipped to an H6, which these headers denote the type of activity. So we have movies, arts and crafts, board games. And then for the activity title, we move back up to an H2. So we have a lot of like skipped stuff and out of order headings here. Why? Why does this happen? Great question. I think most commonly I've seen this approach with folks who are tied too much to the visuals more so than the semantics. And so you might be using like a pre-built framework to build up your visual styles, or you might be just using like straight up raw CSS. Either way, most patterns, like they size the H1 as like the biggest thing on the page and the H6 as the smallest. However, some people, for instance, want their like second level headings to be like a little bit smaller than their third level headings. That's totally okay thing to do, and it can be achieved with just a few lines of CSS. What doesn't work is relying on the element for visuals over semantics. So, oh, I want a small heading. I'm just going to put in an H6 because I visually want it to be small. Don't do that. Rely on your semantics. Rely on the order that you're putting things in. So here's how we might fix this page. So, okay, so we have our H1. Great. Okay. All of these little guys right here for all ages, these should be H2s. So let's fix that. And then we have our for teens, H2. Okay, cool. And then we have movies. So these are like these little like activity types. So these are going to be an H3. Oops. Let's make that H3 there. Here we have our H3, 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 H3. Great. And then the title of the activity should be in H4. There we go. So something we might want to do is change the H3s. This will have that styling. And all the other ones, if we want for example, the H4 to be bigger, we might do this, make it a font size of 1.3 rem, for example, to make it a bit bigger. So you can achieve all that you need to achieve just in CSS here. Maybe you want to make this H3 a little bit smaller too. Great. So you can do this all in CSS, you can do this all in styling, but don't rely on the element to style it for you because you might end up with some out of order things. One trick I use to validate that my visuals aren't overshadowing my semantics is I turn off all the CSS on my page to see if my page is still like navigable and readable. Like, does the order make sense? This is a really handy tool for a lot of situations and not just necessarily heading levels, but does it make sense? It does. Oh, this doesn't make sense. Oh, I must have missed this one. 10 things I hate about you. Let's see. I did. There we go. Okay. Much better. Great.